Now that we have everything in place, we are going to create our own TCP congestion control experiment in the client and the server nodes in the virtual wall. As we said earlier, in this video we are not going to focus on the TCP congestion control itself. The purpose of this video is to demonstrate how you can set up the topology, how you can install all the necessary tools, collect the output of the experiment and present it. So a few words about what we're going to do in this part. We are going to create a TCP connection between the client and the server. We are going to do this using the iPerf network tool, which is a tool for creating between two endpoints UDP and TCP streams. At the same time, we're going to monitor the TCP slow start threshold and congestion window parameters. In order to do this, we will insert the TCP probe module in the kernel. At the same time, we are going to record the output of the TCP probe module in a file. This means that before doing everything, we need to start a monitoring process. Then we will run the experiment, actually create the TCP connection, collect the output, and create a graphical view of the results using a software called GNUplot. This graphical here representation of the data, we are going to do it in our local machine. So this means that this file that we will create it in the virtual wall, we are going to download it here and then create the representation in our local computer. Anyway, let's start. Let's do one step at a time and see how we can manage all this. As you can see here, our experiment is already swapped in. It's live, and as we showed earlier, here we are going to connect to the client and server nodes of our experiment. Okay, here I have connected to the client, and using the SSH tool, I will connect to the server as well. Okay. So I have the client here. If you can see the interfaces, as I said, there are interface F0 for connecting to the internet and allowing us to connect through SSH. And there is also the F2, same happens with the server side. There is the F2 interface here. The private IP addresses that we are going to use for this experiment is the 10.1.1.2 and 3 for the server. So first of all, let's see if there is connectivity. We are going to perform a little ping from the client to the server. As you can see, there is a response, so this means that everything is working okay. So let's see. The first thing, as I said, that we need to do is we would like to create a TCP connection between the client and the server, and for this process we would like to use a network tool called iPerf. As you can see here, when I'm trying to execute the iPerf command, it says here I get the message that this tool is not currently installed in the node. Same situation here. So what I need to do here is I know that these two nodes, the operating system is Ubuntu, so I can use the ipt-get command from Ubuntu and download iPerf and automatically install in both of these nodes. For those who are not familiar with Ubuntu, if you simply run this command, sudo apt-get install, and then the name of a piece of software, then Ubuntu can actually search and locate the software and install it to your PC. I'm going to do it here. So if I run here again sudo iperf, as you can see here, now the program exists on this node. However, I typed the command wrong, so I get this message. But as you can see, now we have iperf installed in both the nodes. So first of all, before doing anything, let's create a small TCP connection between the client and the server and see how this iperf tool works. Here in the server side, I am going to run this command -s. This tells to the iperf to actually launch a small TCP server right here, listening on the port 5001. So in the server we have at the server node we have a TCP server listening for incoming connections. Here in the client side, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to run this command -i give me a small report of what is happening every 1 second, -t run this connection for 10 seconds, and -c is this is the host that I want you to connect to. So when I press this, as you can see here, server got a connection from the client, and here I have a small TCP connection that runs for 10 seconds, and every 1 second, for an interval of 1 second, I have a small, let's say, output about what is happening, how many megabytes are transferred, what is the bandwidth between client and the server, and once the connection is closed after 10 seconds, I also get a complete a report in the server side, how many megabytes were transferred, what is the bandwidth, for how long this connection took place, and other stuff. So as you can see here, we have a perfectly working scenario using the iperf between our client and our server.